Me fix your money, leads, and sales problem once and for all. Hey, this is Dan. Welcome to this module. I am so excited to share with you the model that has made us probably more money than I can count, insane amounts of money, and we've never had a problem with leads and sales. In fact, everything else has been the problem but leads and sales. And we want to share with you the model that we've used. Now, the model is kind of extrapolated into different ways, but I'm going to share with you in this model. If you listen, you lean in, you learn, you take notes, you pay attention to what I'm going to share with you, I'm going to give you the keys to the kingdom as far as how we've been able to scale two multi-million dollar businesses very quickly. So right here, let me give you some proof. This is January here. We were trying to figure it out in the beginning of January, and we kind of figured it out in, I think it was January. We made $400. In February, we made like $800 or 8,000. In March, I think we made like 100,000. In April, we made 50,000. In May, we made 230,000. But we spent probably like I think close to like $300,000-$400,000 because it was a huge event that we did. We made a lot of money here, but we actually spent probably more money than we made. So we actually lost money there. And then we try to figure out how do we replicate the success. And as you can see here, this trend line is going up in scale very, very quickly. And for whatever reason, I don't know why our team actually changed this number thing. I changed our payment processor like literally in December. They changed our payment processor. So actually, would have, yeah, I think it was like January or February. We changed our payment processor from one to the next. So I'm just showing you both of them. But I can show you here, as you can see, the trend line has been going up, and the trend line over here is going up because now we're processing payments through this Stripe account. And this month alone, we are already done. It's May 17th. We've already done more than $200,000 cash. That's not an accrual based counting. That's cash. We made $200,000 cash in the business, and we're on track to do way more than that by the end of the month. And we've done it systematically month over month with at least 10 to 15% growth of revenue and profits at the same, keeping the profit margin pretty much the same at scale and not having to add a bunch of complexity of new team members and all that stuff. And I'm here to share with you how you can do it too. Now, this is just one of the businesses that I'm sharing with you. Our other businesses show the same trajectory because we use the same model between all of them. Okay. And the model I'm going to share with you is it's accumulation of all the things that I've been doing, all the things we've been doing behind the scenes of how we've been able to scale companies. When I give you these feedback calls, when I chat with you, I'm always looking through this lens, because if you can go through this and get this process understanding, you will be able to scale faster than anybody can imagine. And so with that, let's dive right into this training. Let's get into it. Okay. So what I want to share with you is called I call it the infinite scale model. It's the exact process we've used to scale up two multi-million dollar businesses in record time. As you can see, one of them I showed you there. I didn't show the other one. And how we've never had a marketing and sales problem. Isn't that interesting? We have not had a marketing and sales problem even since inception. We've always had leads, we've always had sales, but it's not because we're so good at leads and sales or we know everything all the time. It's just that we use the right model, and leads and sales is just a byproduct. We just get them because we know the model that works. Okay. And yep, it's that powerful. So buckle up. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. So let's talk about how most people build the business. And if this is you, please don't take offense to it. This is just what I've seen. Every single person that I've talked to that has not been able to scale their business, this is kind of the scenario that I've seen them go down, and they end up like, you'll see. So person number one, they want to start a business. They want to sell something. You go get a loan to save up money, or you save up money. You go build a website and you get ready. Then you go bring on clients for free so you can charge them later. You charge them something for cheap and say, I'm just going to get them in the door. Later comes and no one buys. You're upset because you spent time and money only to make a little money. You don't have enough money to hire someone to service new clients, so you end up doing it. You're upset because now you're servicing clients, but you can't sell anymore because you don't have any more time. You lose money because you stop selling. You're in the hole for time and money for starting to sell low-end things to get people in the door. You resolve never to let this happen again. You offer another service. You do it again. Your friends laugh at you. Your spouse is upset with you. You start developing a drinking habit. You quit and consider it a failure. Or you can take road number two. Now, the reason why I say person number one is I made fun of that. I just put these things at the back here. But truthfully, I've actually had people say these things to me. They're like, my spouse is about to leave me because I've been making these bad decisions. I've always been just kind of stuck. And now I'm coming to you guys. Honestly, it's kind of like a play. It's like funny, but it's also not funny because it's true. Or you could be part number two, which is you decide to start the business. You find the right people in the beginning, which is your right clients. Okay. You get paid first, then you do the work, right? So you don't go and do a bunch of work and then get paid, hopefully. Wish and pray in the future. You do the work and you charge a premium price. Okay. You get paid handsomely. You spend that money to go get another customer, which is, I'm going to highlight this here because this is the infinite scale model right there. You get enough customers so that you're forced to hire help and you don't hire without needing before you need help. You can pay for great help because you get paid great. You keep paying to get great customers. Great customers allows you to afford great help. Great help allows you to scale without burnout. You love your business again. You start to travel more. You start to take time off, and your spouse loves you again, and your friends start to praise you. Now, I say that because I'm just trying to get you guys prepped for understanding how this model works, okay? But truthfully, like honestly, this is not wrong. What we've done, we have a business that we love, and we've been part of the front half of this part here too, so we understand both sides of the coin. I just rather be person number two, and that becomes from understanding this scale model, this infinite scale model. So how do you become person number two is by leveraging the infinite scale model. Okay. And yes, this is what made us insane amounts of money in very short time frame by using our customers to pay for our next customers. Truthfully, if I had to sum up this whole entire training in one sentence, that's what it is. So let me show you what I mean. You click on this thing. I'm going to click on this thing here, and I'm going to take you here and show you the map. Okay. Now, this is not a perfect thing. This is not exactly how your process or everything will work or how it will look, but ideally, this is how we tell you how this works, and this is why we emphasize getting your first 5 clients to pay you and try to do it organically so that you have the money to go through this infinite scale model. So week 1, there's a rule that I like you guys to kind of want to write this down. It's the rule of 10. And I learned about this rule of 10 from network marketing. So basically, network marketing is a people business, right? You have to go out there and talk to a bunch of people, recruit them, and all that stuff. But in network marketing, a lot of industries actually, they talk about the rule of 10. So you talk to 100 people, you get 10 people interested, and then 1 buys. That's typically the case, all right? And so we're going to use kind of the rule of 10 here to help you understand. And then you can always influence that rule of 10 to make the percentages better and bigger and better. Right. And so when you see this and then you hear me talk about the more, better, new concept, which is you only do more of the same, then you make it better. Then once you've tapped out the more and the better things that you're doing, then you introduce new things, but not in the wrong order, because then you get yourself in a pickle where you're creating a bunch of new things all the time and nothing's ever stable. So the reason why I'm able to sit with you here is because we have a stable, growing business that grows month over month, and I know how it works. I know exactly how to make it grow. I know exactly what's the next step. And so because of that, I want to share with you that. Okay. So assuming in the beginning, your first 4 weeks or whenever you start this, you can, like, let's assume you're watching this week 1 and you're like, okay, Dan, I want to start week 1. This could be your week 1. Maybe after onboarding, you're like, okay, week 1 is after the week after onboarding. Maybe week 1 is after you come back from vacation on the first of the month. You've already been with us for a month, and you're like, okay, week 1 is in next month. The weeks do not matter, and when you start does not matter. The process of keeping momentum, starting and keeping momentum, is very, very important, though. Okay, so let's assume week 1. You go back to your database and you start and you use a script that we gave you guys in another video of how to get your current customers to turn into new paying customers, where you could just go out to them and reach out to them and say, hey, look, I saw there's opportunities. I'd like to chat with you. That's 10 leads right there. You do that with 10 different people, with 10 different clients that you already have, that you already service, that you already know, that you already like, that you already trust. You're going to get one person. Okay. And so if you don't, then there's something else wrong, right? There's something else wrong because you should be able to close 10% of your people. Like 10% of the people that you talk to, you should be able to close them into your service. If you don't, it's probably because it's something else. Something else is wrong. Okay. But this is the numbers you should be trying to hit. Okay. So I'm using this here because I want you to see like realistically what it could look like when you start hitting your bank and when this thing really starts to pop. And when I mean pop, I mean like starts to take off and start hitting those numbers of 100K a month. Okay. So week one, you'll charge like $2,400, and then you'll make $2,400 or $2,500, and then deposit into the bank. Usually it takes about 72 hours. So the reason why I'm going to put that one there is because if I put it in days, you would get paid day one, but it won't be deposited till probably day 3 or 4. Okay. But I'm using it in weeks. So you should be able to get the bank and the payments at the same time. So you should be able to, in that same week, you should be able to get paid. Unless you do it like on a Friday, then it's obviously different. It's a little bit different, but the model is still the same. So let's assume here that you're going to get 10 people that you're going to talk to in your network, in your list. You're just going to go out there, hey guys, I need to talk with you. I have an important announcement for everyone, like literally everyone. And the price point you're going to sell your assessment for is, by the way, this is just assessment sales. This has nothing to do with the big program sales where you're going to charge $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year to work with you. That's why we've been able to scale, because we have this front end, where we get paid up front, and then we get paid again, and we can get paid a lot of amounts. Okay. Week one, let's assume you get one client. This is why I emphasize go and get 5 clients for free that pay you $2,500, because now if you look at this week to week, you should have yourself in the bank. I'm putting 4 here, but in the bank, the importance of 5 is if you do this and you go and get 5 clients organically, that means you have $15,000 to play with. That $15,000 does not go to fulfillment. That $15,000 does not go into your pocket to go and spend on things. That $15,000 does not go to vacation. That $15,000 does not go and buy you more content studio. It does none of that. All that money is there for is so you can go and spend that money to go get your next customers, to build your marketing and sales system. Because once you build this system, you can start piecing out money that you can. But $15,000, honestly, it's not even enough for you to do anything. So you might as well just go spend it to go get more clients. Okay. And so I'm going to week 5 here. I'm assuming you already made $10,000, right? Assumption is that. Now you can actually make $10,000 in a week. You could take all this down and you can like, okay, well, I signed up 4 clients in a week. Now I'm week 5. You could do it however big or small you want, right? But as soon as you hit these numbers where you're hitting $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, go spend the money to get new customers. Do not use that money for anything else, because when you do, you will find yourself in a pickle in 3-4 months where you don't have clients and you don't have money, and then you're back at square one where you have to play this rat race again. Okay. So I'm assuming week 5, this is where you're going to put about $100 in. You'll get about 5 leads from that. That's about a $20 cost per lead. Even if you spend like a little bit more, let's just say you spend $200 that week. My kind of rule of thumb is that you spend $100 a day, which gets you about $3,000 a month. That's kind of my rule of thumb. And so if you do that, I mean, I'm just putting small numbers for you, small numbers, so you can understand this. So let's just say you do 100. That means you get 5 leads, and out of the 10%, you won't close anybody that week. But the next week, if you do the exact same thing, you add these 2 together, and that becomes 1 client, right? So you'll get 1 client every 2 weeks using this model. So you won't make money here. You'll actually lose $100. But then the following week, you will have, spent $100 and you would have made $2,300. But obviously, I'm not taking into account this negative 100. And then the week after, you do the same thing, right? The week after you don't make any money at all, but you get the same amount of leads. And the following week, you get 1 person, right? Now, all this is assuming that you don't get any better at sales, which is kind of odd. If you don't get better at sales after 10 weeks, there's something else wrong here. So This is all assuming that you do not get better at all. And that's why I make this assumption, because if you follow this framework and all you do is just be the same exact person for 12 weeks or 10 weeks, you can do this. Okay. All right. So in this week 8, you will make 23.97. So over this 4-week period, you would have made 4,500 bucks because you lost the 400 here, and then you made the about $5,000 here, right? So 4 to 500, and you would have made 4,500, which is not bad. $4,000 a week. Over a month, that's about a $5,000 increase. But now you figured this process out, right? And it took you 4 weeks to figure out this process. Now, some people will take 6 to 8 weeks to figure out this process. Don't worry about the weeks here. Worry more about the model and making sure that your numbers are hitting, making sure you're checking your numbers. And the numbers that you should be checking are the ones that I'm showing you here. And then week 8, I put week 8, week 9, 10. Let's just go an even, 12 weeks, which would make you 3 months. So let's just go here and let's go there, and let's just move everything over. Okay. So it took you 4 to 6 weeks to understand how this model works. Okay. Now, week 11 and 12, you're really starting to crank. You can start to see this thing, how it starts to crank up like big time. This is where you're going to start needing to hire help, because now you're starting to see this machine starting to work and the way you want it to work. So, okay, so you go here, and week 5 through 8, I mean, you made $5,000. But week 9 through 12, this is how people get these hockey stick growth. Like if you see here, the hockey stick growth for us comes because we understood the model, and it starts going up and up and up and up, and eventually it's going to start scaling up. Like it's going to look more like model number 2 than it does in model number 1. But ultimately the scale is going to go like that. It's going to start turning up real fast. It took us 12 months to figure this out. I'm showing you guys how you can do it in 12 weeks. Okay. So you go there, and then let's just say week 9, you spend $1,000. Now you don't have to spend this $1,000. I suggest it. Honestly, I suggest it highly, because if you're trying to cut cost up here, you're going to lose profits down there. Always. When you try to cut marketing to make more money, you always lose, from what I've seen. When you start cutting marketing, you always lose. I would cut costs in other ways, but try not to mess with your marketing, because the marketing is the lifeblood of your business. At the next level, when you're going to 5, 10, 15 million a year, it has to be more marketing. It has to. This is the only way you're going to scale. Okay. Anyone that tells you otherwise is, I don't know where they're at with their business, but I know where we're at. And based on the current knowledge I know, this is what we're doing. Okay. And I'm just giving you what we know. So assuming here, I'm going to take this off because it's not a money, it's actual number. So now this is where things get fun. Like week 8, week 5 through 8, you're figuring out here. Week 1 through 4, you're like, does this actually work? I don't even know how to sell. I suck. Week 5 through 8, you're like, my marketing sucks and I'm trying to get a little bit better, but I understand how to sell stuff, so I can kind of do it. And then week 9 through 10 and 9 through 12, you're like, okay, finally I figured out some of this marketing and sales stuff. Let me put some money behind this thing and let me start hiring people to start working this system. Okay. And so we spend $1,000, we get 50 leads. I think it should be more than that. 50 leads. And then at the 10%, we get 5 new clients. Okay. At $24.97. So that means we make about $12,000 that week, but we minus the how much we made minus the ad spend, and then we just go to the next one, and then go to the next one. And so you see here over this block here, we made $100,000 this month in 12 weeks. Okay, and we spent $10,000 to make $100,000. Pretty good trade, right? That is the front end, guys. You can even if you completely suck and you do only, if you only did 5% here. Honestly, if you only did 5% of your leads turn into a client here, you could still outspend your competitors if you use this model. So even if you did that, even if you spent 9,000 and you made 50,000, would you be upset? I hope not. Even if, let's just even put it even further, right? Even if you close 3%, let's do 3% across the board. Okay. You spent 10,000, you made 24,000. That's on the front end, guys. That's not even counting in how much you're going to make from the clients that come from here and say, hey, or the clients that came from over here and say, hey, I don't want to do it by myself. I need some help. That's not even counting any of those people. So I say that to you so you can understand that there is so much opportunity if you don't let your mind get in front of you and let your mind stop you from your true scale that you can be. And that's why we're here for. In this coaching program, part of this program you're a part of, that's what we're here for. And so this model right here will take you right to 103,000. You would have made 5,000 the month before, and then you go up scale hard and you make 103. This is where you'll start to hire strategically people. And truthfully, this is the model. Like, this is what we do. And we just do more of the same. Now, some of you might take 1 to 8 weeks to do step 1. Some of you might take 1 to 8 weeks to do step 2. Some of you might take 1 to 8 weeks to do step 3. But that's okay. It doesn't matter the time frame. What matters is your frame of reference of understanding the numbers and knowing that I'm not going to cut my costs on my advertising so that I can make a little bit more money. I need to fill the boat. I need to get as many people in the boat so that I can start hiring really good, talented people. Okay. And those talented people will save your behind. Okay. And so this is what has allowed us to, not having really tax experience, to become one of the most dominant players in the industry in record time. And then once you cover the initial cost to get a customer, everything else is pure profit. Let me say that again. Everything else is pure profit after you've covered what it costs to get a customer. All right. You run this model until you no longer have a sales and leads problem again. Amit and Charles from our program have adopted this model and now can turn the leads and sales engine on as they please. And that's how we scaled our own tax planning business and this program you're in right now in record time. The secret to never-ending growth is you're making money on every customer, whereas most businesses function at a loss for months or even years before they go into what's called the black, right? There's a red and a black. So the majority of them function at a loss forever, but we don't. And that's how this is how we've been able to use this model to hit profitability so fast that scale becomes infinite. Okay. And the only constraint really becomes your backend systems, your lack of a good team, and other business systems. But with this process, you won't have a lead and sales problem again if you choose. Again, this is a really big point. If you choose, I'm giving you the secret sauce here. You don't have to take it. But if you're paying for this program and you're part of this program, I'm hoping you're going to listen and use this process the way you use it. And this becomes, your business becomes a casino where you play with your winnings and not with your losses. Should have put not. So you play with the winnings and not the losses. Now, then your question becomes like, if you're constantly making money back from every client that you come from, why stop? At this point, this is great. This is going to be amazing. People would love to hit this numbers. The problem is that this thing right here becomes unsustainable for most people. And that's where your operation is going to break down. Okay. And that's why I'm happy to say that we're going to help you kind of work through that process as well. But you don't need to fix the problems you don't have yet. Get to have the money where you have the money problems, then we'll help you fix the operations. Most people want to fix their operations before they ever have money, and then they get stuck in not doing the thing that's getting them the money, and then they're stuck back at square one, and you become person number one. So use this model to go make money, then come back and say, Dan, I got all these leads and sales, but I don't know how to fulfill like Charles and Amit are in that same. Okay, so stay tuned for the next trainings. But now you shouldn't have a marketing, leads, or money problem again if you choose with your business. So with that being said, see you in the next training. Bye.